Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Quesenberry, and of course, I'm running for president of the Student Bar Association. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Very quickly, just about me. As far as I know, I'm the only candidate for this position who's actually been on the executive board of the SBA for the past year. So, in terms of just a qualitative comparison, I have the most and the best experience, qualitative and quantitative. I've got the most and the best experience of any candidate running for the position. So that's a definite plus for me. But in terms of all that's looking into the past, what I have done in the past. I've also been the chair of the Community Relations Committee in Carlisle. We've been able to accomplish a lot of things. So sort of that dual role of executive board member, PSU senator, and committee chair, I think, has really sort of given me an acquaintance with the kind of issues that face the student body, and enabled me to come up with a lot of good ideas in terms of addressing those issues. First, looking prospectively now into the future. For one, if they don't have coffee machines on both of the campuses, vending coffee machines on both campuses, by the time I assume office, if I assume office, I definitely intend to push for that. Caffeine is fuel for law students, and I aim to see to it that is supplied. But on a more serious level, in terms of things that I can touch directly as SBA president and wouldn't have to petition the administration for, the committee structure of the SBA, I think, could use some revising, in that it seems to me that some committees and some certain people on certain committees tend to do a great deal of the work, while other committees sort of lie a little bit more dormant and don't do as much as some of the other committees. And I just want to undertake an analysis of the committee structure once I get elected, if I do, and sort of strengthen those committees that do the most work, and sort of reallocate the resources to the extent that I can within the SBA Constitution, just so that the people who are on the committees that do the most work don't get stressed out with all their other obligations, and overall it results in provision of better, higher quality services and higher quality events and other things for the student body to overall enhance the experience of the Dickinson School of Law student. So we'll do that. And in terms of things I want to petition the administration for, a big one, I think, is what I like to call flexible exam scheduling. In a nutshell, it's a system for exam taking that lets you, within certain extents and within certain limitations, go ahead and pick when you want to take which exam for what course. It sets aside designated times for exam taking, and you can just, at the proper time, go to the designated person, get your exam for whichever course you want, and then go straight to the room where the exam is being proctored, and a proctor will just be there at a certain time to proctor the students taking the exams, and they get to pick which exams they take during the designated times for exam taking. I think it'd be really good for student mental health. The University of Virginia, if you're interested in it, has implemented something very similar, and I think it's worked really well. Just from what little bit I've been able to gather, it has to have. In terms of the benefits, I think it would decrease stress, around exam time, because that element of control, that extra little bit of control you have over your exam schedule, I think would reduce stress a great deal. And also, I think at the beginning when you're selecting your courses, just knowing that you don't have to be aware so much of a set exam schedule for each course, I think would give you the most freedom and flexibility in terms of picking your class schedule. So I think that's something that would be very good for both campuses. And that's something I would push really hard for. Kent Lloyd convinced me that the idea was worthwhile, and he's been pushing for it, so I aim to pick up where he's sort of leaving off with that as president. And also, in terms of the Carlisle campus, as a student at the Carlisle campus, I've noticed that the proximity of Harrisburg to the Carlisle campus, I think, is very good for us, because there are 4 layers of government in Harrisburg. There's the state capitol. Well, from top down, the federal building is there, where the United States District Court from the Middle District of Pennsylvania, that's in the federal building. So that's one layer of government. Of course, you got the state capitol. That's another layer of government. And I think Harrisburg is also the Dauphin County seat of government, so that's a 3rd layer of government. And then, of course, the Harrisburg city government itself. So that's 4 layers of government in one city. And so that results in many, many, many opportunities for internships and externships and ultimate hiring opportunities for law students who happen to be in Carlisle, which is maybe a 20-minute drive from Harrisburg, depending upon where in Harrisburg you want to go. So Carlisle's closeness then to Harrisburg provides a lot of opportunities. And one of my goals as president is to work with the administration, to work with the student contingencies, especially up at UP, to sort of, to the extent possible, give UP students the same opportunity to avail themselves of those opportunities that stem from the closeness of this governmental center that is Harrisburg. I know that many of the interviews now, if someone from UP wants to interview for a job in Carlisle, that's teleconference, but my experience has been that many of the jobs that I've applied for in Harrisburg actually wanted you to come to the office in Harrisburg to do the interview, and that, to me, poses a pretty formidable burden for a UP student who wants to come down and interview in Harrisburg in the office because of the distance. It's just too far to drive on a regular basis for interviews and things. I probably had 6 interviews in Harrisburg this semester, and if I hadn't been able to just hop in my car and drive 20 minutes down the road to get there, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I want to do things like, I don't know, maybe have shuttles to actually transport students here to Harrisburg when the interview actually has to be done in Harrisburg and not at the campus. Maybe use some of the houses that we have adjacent to the Carlisle campus to provide lodging for UP students who want to actually come down and work in the area. Just different things like that. We'll brainstorm and come up with some more things, but those are just some introductory things I'd like to do to give UP students the same opportunity that we have in Carlisle to take advantage of the really close proximity of Harrisburg and all the opportunities that come with that center of government. And lastly, I want to strengthen the roles of the Career Services Committee and the Alumni Relations Committee as president, because as fun as all the events and things are, I think that the further you get into your law school career and the closer you get to the end of your law school career, you worry about your legal career. You worry about getting a job. And in today's tough market, that concern is more pressing than ever. So I'd like to, again, within the limits of the SBA Constitution, go ahead and strengthen the roles of the Career Services Committee and the Alumni Relations Committee, because, of course, Career Services Committee works directly with our Career Services Department. And I'd like to take a big hand in that myself as president, and try to find new ways to help students avail themselves of what opportunities are out there. And the Alumni Relations Committee, I'd like to strengthen them because many of our Dickinson alums constitute, one of our biggest employer bases for graduates of the school. So I'd like to, as much as possible, strengthen relationships with them so that we can better avail ourselves of that potential hiring base. Because, again, as you go through your law school career, the events become less important and the actual getting of a job becomes more important. So I want to do all I can in my capacity as SBA president to address that pressing issue. So that's my spiel very much in a nutshell. Facebook.com/NWQ101. You'll get some more details on it. I've typed out a great deal about my specific agenda items that I want to accomplish. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And many, many, many blessings. God bless. Have a good one. And I will look forward to serving you in this capacity as SBA president if you choose to elect me. I'm Nick Quesenberry, and I approve this message. Thank you very much.